we're live. Welcome to MaterializeTV, where every single week we act goofy as soon as we get on because StreamYard is goofy. So anyways, we are super excited today to be talking with you, having a little conversation around awaken. And if you're in that place where you're frustrated, you're hustling, you're exhausted, you're confused, stuck. I guess if you have one single word, if you feel like you're stuck and it's just not pleasing, awaken is for you. You, depending on how long you followed us, you may automatically think that we mean going to an awaken retreat when you hear us talk about awaken, but that is not what we are talking about. Sure, if we ever host another one, which we will, we would love for you to come. But when we say you may want awakening or awaken, you may want to experience awaken. We had the lovely conversation this morning on our second episode of the Destiny Culture podcast, all about awaken. What is the awaken phase? How do you gain awakening straight away? Because it's one of those things, I know for myself, and I would assume that you guys would agree, when you're in that place, nothing else is gonna cut it. It's like you are either exhausted and you're on edge, or you're frustrated and can't think clearly. It's like, the thought of, let me go consume a bunch of content is really not what you're wanting at that moment. You just kind of want where you're at to stop, and you want to, turn that light switch on really quickly. And I think that that's what the podcast this morning really would allow people to do.
Yeah.
Would you guys have anything to add to that?
No, just go listen. We want to know, I had a random question pop into my mind. We would love to know if you can differentiate between who is who on the podcast. They're talking, and so that would be fun if you guys chimed in there. But I think every time we share about these things, it comes out the same but different. And so even if you've been with us for a long time, or you've been to an awaken retreat, because it's the podcast and there's a different atmosphere and mind and setting around it, then listening to it, I know you're going to get something new out of it. And of course, new people listen also, because it's very insightful.
Yeah, for sure. It is really the launch pad, the launching point for transformation. It's the launching point for expansion. It's the launching point for healing. It's the launching point for flow and dancing through your days. It really does start with awaken. So, we will be excited to hear what you guys think about that, as well as our voices.
Yeah.
And also, to give you a preview, there's so many things happening behind the scenes right now that it is just like, I feel like I'm like, either roller skating or ice skating would be an even better term, where you're like holding on to the edge and you're just acting like you're really great at ice skating or roller skating and still trying to look cool, but really you're just holding on to the edge and like scraping, along the side. Oh, I'm just hanging out over here, no, you're really about to fall down. But we've just got like so much, we've got so much, slickness is not the word. We've got so much movement happening underneath us. You know what I'm saying? There's so much movement. There's no resistance and friction that is holding us back from skiing forward, from skating ahead right now, except literally I feel like I'm holding on to the edge so that I can catch people up. You guys in the Materialize Impact group, even our team, okay, I got to slow down. I can't skate this fast right now because people need to catch up. People need a chance to go listen to the podcast. People need a chance for us to send them a message. And yet we're like, the ice is slick. It's all been smoothed out. What is that thing? Deanie something. It's not a hoodie. What is that thing that smooths out the ice?
Oh, I don't know. The machine?
The machine, the thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
It has its own name. Somebody is going to listen to this and they will tell us it's not a Houdini, but it is some kind of Dini. I'm pretty sure. That would be okay. So wish
I
list.
snort laughing. That's funny.
If I can add that to my bucket list to be the ice machine Dini smoother. Not a Dini. I don't know what it's called. God has been using 2021 to smooth the ice, like truly smoothing everything out so that when we lace up, we're going to be flying. And it's like coming really, really quickly, even though the process of him smoothing the ice has felt like not always awesome, So anyways, we want to hold on to the edge, to hold on to the rail for a little bit and act cool and let you guys catch up and get your your boots, whatever, your shoes laced up.
Or your Dinies.
You don't have a Dini.
Well, I might have Dini shoes instead.
Individuals don't have their own Dinies. That is only something that usually an old fat man has the Dini. And he gets paid to use the Dini.
Oh, welcome.
You never know where MaterializeTV is.
Behind the scenes world. Now I'm crying.
I'm going to have to hop off here and go look on my cell phone. You guys talk for a minute while I find the real names. We don't have to keep saying me.
Oh my gosh. There's so much that I want to say, but I'm like, I want everybody to go listen to the podcast first.
Yeah.
Because I feel like then, it's like, I want you to go hear that.
Zamboni, it's a Zamboni. Oh, not a Dini, it's a Zamboni.
Okay.
Which is not much better than a Dini.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's funny. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
I came on your meeting laughter, so I'm so glad that it is provided. Thank you.
Yeah.
So funny.
Oh. So if you're just joining us, please go back and watch.
Yeah. Okay then.
Regrouping.
Yeah. Okay. So we're supposed to be talking about not Dinies or Zambonis now, but what is coming now that the ice is smooth. Next week, we are actually going to be interviewing Denise Flood about her Awaken experience.
Yes.
She is in a season of dance in some areas, and in other areas, she is in, let me think about this, she would probably be in, I don't know which season of Captivate, well, let's go with Captivate then. Sort of in a season of being still, which is kind of like Awaken, but in her home, just in her home, it is very quiet right now, because she's caring for her husband, who had a foot accident. So anyways, in some respects, you may be in the Awakened season, and in some regards, probably in her own life right now, she's in an Awakened season that's almost forced upon her because of the quiet place that she's in her home, because of outside circumstances. So many times God will give us an Awakened season, even when we don't necessarily expect it, or even when we don't think that it's what we're craving. He knows better. He knows what may be ahead for us. And so he will move us into a season of Awaken. I'm still getting my act together here. So we've been having all sorts of Zamboni discussions. I think forever now we will call our own processing like something with
Zamboni time.
What's that?
It's Zamboni time.
It's Zamboni time. And that's really, I think, now taken on a whole new meaning of having those discussions that are like full of ideas and tossing things back and forth and what's coming and what's ahead. And it's really a matter of, okay, let's smooth the ice so that we can skate.
Yeah.
I like it. It really is kind of what that time is all about. And that's a lot of fun. You know, just because your ice may not be smooth right now in the moment doesn't mean that it's not awesome. You may have put a lot of pathways through that ice, which is action. And that's part of where the fun is, you know, is in tearing up the ice, essentially. Right? It's in making the mess where we have the fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then we get mad at the mess. That's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
You know, like that's where we've been having the fun is in that time of energy and in messing up the ice or whatever. So now when we go back and we have those Zamboni discussions, that's when we're getting still and having the awakenings, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like how this is all coming together.
Well, and I think it kind of leads in really well to I don't know, I just keep envisioning, you know, like those football scratch boards where they've got all the X's and the O's and, you know, all that, and that kind of being on the ice, you know. But as we have done the foundational laying years over the past 4 years of, you know, all the many different things that we've put out, all the many different things that we've created, you know, and so now this I feel like is a beautiful segue into what are we doing right now? Like, who are we and who are we serving? What is our heart and what's been our heart this whole time? Because a lot of us know us as business coaches because that's how they came in here. And a lot of us know us through CEO Flo and Esther. So Tracy, do you want to speak a little bit to that?
Man, what I'm seeing is just that all the pieces of the puzzle are finally coming into place.
Yeah.
Now. And we set over any kind of dollar intentions that we set at the beginning of the year. That really was the primary intention, was laying the foundation.
Yeah.
And we've done that. And that is wildly exciting because essentially we've come full circle from where we knew that God's heart for us and our calling was to take this ABCD process, which is awaken, believe, captivate, and dance, a process for expansion, a process for transformation, and utilize it and steward it well. And so years ago, we're processing and praying through, okay, is this a ministry? Is it a nonprofit? Is it a business? Is it this? Is it that? What is it? And we had to go through our own ABCD process even since then of figuring out the resistance that we had around giving things away. We had to go through the resistance around earning big dollars for our products and services. We had to go through resistance around team building. We had to go through resistance around not doing it all. We had to go through resistance around all these different components. And now we're seeing coming back full circle, even in this very day, where God is showing us his heart for his people, which is the church.
Yeah.
You know? And so we have said for a long time, and our people, you know, the people that come into our space have placed a high value on intimacy and on relationship and closeness, which is intimacy. But now we're starting to see ways that we can impact both deep and wide.
Yeah.
So when we were focusing on the nonprofit, in many ways that you think automatically, well, that would allow you to reach a lot of people and go wide. And then as we focus on business, then we are focusing on really going deep with people. And now I see that we're able to do both based on the roots plus fruits model and go deep and wide. So you're going to continue to hear us talking about roots and fruits. You're going to continue to hear us talking about depth. You're going to continue to hear us talking about being able to receive transformation at any level, regardless of income, regardless of your economic status, regardless of whether you're a business person or a stay-at-home mom or a caregiver that's on whatever, kind of financial assistance. There is something for you here. There always has been, but it's even more clear now how to take action and receive all of those different bits and pieces.
Yeah. You know what I really love about everything that we've been going through is that we can clearly show that it's okay to make changes. And so many of us, and I feel like this has come up so much lately, like people saying, well, I have to be a certain way, I have to be a certain kind of person to be doing these things, and I feel like really it's more about being authentic and doing really what God is telling us to do, instead of like, oh wait, but we know we're supposed to have this specific thing and this specific thing. But you know what? We're all on like this journey together where we all need healing in all aspects, in all aspects of life. And I love that we're able to do that and provide that to whoever, like Tracy, like you don't have to be a business person. You don't have, you could be anybody, and we're all in this same thing. And I mean, this could even be in jobs, like people go from one thing to another, and then you're like, what? How did I go from that to that? But you know what? Like, this is the same thing we're doing right here, is going from one thing to another. And it's okay. Like, it's okay that we make changes and that we flow with what God is calling us to each season.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Our heart remains the same, right? Because we're always running after God's heart. But in between, like getting there, and reaching the end result, he may call us over here and he may call us over here. And what an amazing, like just this morning, Melissa, you were sharing something and I was like, oh my gosh, what an amazing thing to have in your tool belt now and experience. You've experienced something and God has spoken very profoundly to you. Now you get to share that with other women. And so what we have been through, if I would have stayed a life purpose coach 4 years ago, and I would have stayed in that area and not been open to where the Lord was leading, I would have been doing a disservice to myself, and to those around me. And so I'm just so, it's fun. Like it is, the journey is exciting. It's an adventure. And it's been amazing. Amazing.
I kind of see, how the ABCD process is, in some regards, the railing around the faith.
Yeah, well.
You know what I mean? It is that little, it gives you kind of the safety parameters to keep moving forward. That's the clarity that you need in a safe way. It's always that thing to grab onto.
Yeah. I was thinking today, even on the podcast, and I didn't mention it, but for myself, understanding what ABCD means in my life has taken my life that's like this whole big, huge thing with everything in it, and it's simplified it. It's taken everything I go through, everything I experience, every circumstance, anything that's thrown at me, anything that comes up. I'm like, oh, I know where this fits into ABCD. And it's like, it's a gift from the Lord that says, you're not going to stay here. This isn't going to be forever. We know that, but when we know ABCD, we know what's coming, we know what's before, we know what's behind. And so it gives us hope. ABCD is an expansion of hope. Yeah,
it really is, because we're instructed by the Lord to trust, we're instructed to believe, we're instructed to have faith, we're instructed to not get discouraged.
Yeah.
But the ways that you actually make that tangible in your day-to-day life can be very nebulous and difficult for people.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that sounds really good. God, I want to honor that. But what does that actually mean to me?
Yeah.
I think that ABCD gives actions. It gives us it gives us that partnership with God.
Yeah.
To say, okay, I see what you're saying, and here's how I'm going to respond to it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, God, what are you saying? Okay, I see what you're saying, and here's how I'm going to respond to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what, Melissa, did you want to say something?
No, I'm good.
I was going to say, so what can the ladies expect now being a Materialize, like, to wrap this up? Like, what can they expect from us?
So here's what the new world looks like.
The new rink.
Yeah, the ice skating rink. So we continue to show up with MaterializeTV week in and week out. There may be a couple of wonky days that come up because I think that there are some holidays. Well, Thanksgiving is next Thursday. You know what I mean? But in general, we're going to continue to show up here for you every week on MaterializeTV on Thursdays. And this is a discussion around and kind of the after party, kind of like we said out last week. It really is kind of the after party after the Destiny Culture podcast. When we talk about materializing impact, that is the result of what Destiny Culture is. When you create a Destiny Culture for yourself in your own life and for the lives around you, you really are materializing impact.
Mm-hmm.
So it starts, our kind of beginning thoughts are starting for you to consume and experience on the Destiny Culture podcast. It's also on YouTube. You can go to the Uncoached channel on YouTube and find all of the videos. If you're a video person and you want to watch our ridiculous facial expressions along with what you're hearing, that would be fine. Or the tears that are rolling down our faces talking about demons. So then monthly within our free community, which is Materialize Impact on Facebook, we're going to be doing a monthly workshop. And we're calling it a workshop. You might call it a masterclass. It might be a training. It might be a challenge. It might be anything to just go deeper with our tribe, on a monthly basis. Some months it might be for an hour. Some months it might be for 5 days. Whatever God inspires us to do as a community, that's what we're going to be doing monthly in Materialize Impact.
And most likely it's something we are going through and we are learning, even in that moment. So
so that we can take what God is revealing to us in that time, because it's always going to be relevant. It's always going to be timely. We always know, well, at least I do. I for sure do, what my clients are going to be talking about the next week because I've been experiencing that week. It's always like a heads up. And it's fascinating. It never fails. That boom. Oh, really? You're having this issue too? Oh, really? You're having this issue too? And somehow it still surprises me even after this long, but it always works out that way. So we will always be bringing our learnings, our findings, our revelations from the Lord to you on a monthly basis based on what is inspiring and fun and exciting at the time. Okay.
I also want to mention that we're keeping our eyes open to what all of you are going through.
Yeah,
so these trainings are actually going to be very personal to you because we are keeping an eye, whether it's in conversations or in posts or comments or whatever is being said. So there will always be something for everybody.
Absolutely. And even straight up, if there's something that you want us to do or you want us to see or want us to speak to, shoot us a message. We're like normal humans, and if something happens that you don't hear from us, like a response, we also have kids that get on our phones. So please message us again. It would never, ever be our heart that we would not respond to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. We want to give you what you need always. And then we have been using the word clusters this morning. So we're really, really excited as we are moving into our free complimentary sessions for group coaching. That is called Designing Destiny Roots Group coaching, and that begins on 11/29. So right after Thanksgiving, we will be kicking off with a training on that Monday, and then there will be a couple of breakthrough group Q&A coaching sessions that you can attend. They're going to be exactly the same one day and the next day in terms of the layout and the structure. If you want to attend one then and have your questions answered, get some coaching, show up and process what the training was about, please come.
I'm in the process of dropping the link in the comments.
Okay. If you want to attend both, that's totally fine. And then the next week, Amber is going to train and Melissa's going to train, give you some really, really good nuggets. And then guess what? 2 other sessions where you're going to be able to process that in a safe group coaching kind of space. And we all 3 are going to be on every session. So you've got a panel of people who are experienced in mind, body, spirit. And that is really important to us that we provide you that. We're not sure that that's being done anywhere else at all. And yet it's so important to take all of that into consideration when you're creating transformation in your life. So this is not business focused. However, our clients will tell you that it will have an impact on your work. So whether you have a business or not, this is for you. And again, this is complimentary because we really feel like God wants us to be able to take this month of thanks and do something straight from the heart that provides massive, insane value for you guys. And thank you for hanging with us this year, you know?
Yeah.
And then that is going to be leading into our monthly Roots group. So as we move forward, our kind of structure for providing services is that our clients are going to choose, StreamYard's awesome, choose your root and choose your fruit. So when you are creating transformation in your life, when God is doing that through you, there are some roots that need attention, right? So you can't have healthy, amazing, abundant fruit if you're not caring for the roots. That is done either in a small group setting or one-on-one. That's where you tend to your roots. And then all of the fruit care is above and beyond that. So if you are somebody that's like, oh man, my roots are really well tended to, I'm already working with you, Team Uncoached, or I've already hired this person, let's talk about it. Maybe you've got your roots taken care of. You're tending to the roots in a really strong way. And you are simply here and God has highlighted this community for you to build on with fruit. Maybe that's you. However, most people still need root focused care. And so in that case, we can chat through, and there's an application even on our website now that will help us. It doesn't mean that we're getting married. It doesn't mean that, you know, we're swabbing you for your DNA or anything. It just isn't kind of an interest form application that says, what are your needs? And that will come to us as a team and help us to see, okay, what is the best way to care for your roots right now? In mind, in body, in spirit, business, all of the above, so that God can do with you and your life what his will is for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So roots and fruits, ABCD expansion.
I want to mention, because there's a lot of ladies in here who have been with us for a while, you know, since we started launching things. And so this is a more, I would say, sustainable way to, you know, continue on with your education, your growth, the mentoring, the support, to be getting what you need, but not in a place of like, you have to be with us for 12 months in order to do that. This is a month-to-month thing. And Tracy and us, we've been praying over the golden rule, whatever that was that you call it.
Golden rule guarantee.
Yeah, the golden rule guarantee, which you can read about. Is that correct? On, can they read about that somewhere?
Not in detail. I need to do like an entire post or an entire video on that. But basically,
beautiful.
do you want me to speak to it just real quick?
Sure, yeah.
So basically, we really want to position each person the way that we would want to be positioned, receive care and support. And that being said, I never feel wonderful owing people money. I want to just pay them and know that they're taken care of and know that I've done my part. And so the way that we are setting up our services moving forward really is where your option is to pay in full. And if you want to pay in full for a number of months upfront, and that provides you the skin in the game that you need, great. If that means that you go month to month and you pay monthly as you move forward, that's fine. No contracts moving ahead in terms of, oh, you're going to owe us this for 12 more months.
Yeah.
We just realized that, and we've done it before. And so if you're doing that, I'm not saying that it's wrong, but our heart is to provide a way that feels really, really good for both parties. And we believe that this is the path for us.
It's also the atmosphere that we really want to set. So in the culture,
it just allows people to breathe.
Yeah.
Breathe. And guess what? When we're putting people into a space where they can take a breath and not worry about what's going to come the next month and what's going to come the next month, they can receive the transformation that we're offering them at a deeper level. So that is what we call the golden rule guarantee. There are more details to it, but that's the heart of it. And really allowing each and every client to get what they need, because we're not worried that people are going to leave us. We're not worried that you're not going to stick it out. We're not worried about that, because we know the value that we bring to the table, and we know that people love our products and our services, and people take a break sometimes and they come back even years later because of the impact that we've made on their lives. So we've got, nothing to lose by doing this. And we're that confident in the services that we provide. So, super, super exciting changes that are really simply aligned and that allow us to be our fullest, most authentic selves every single day.
Yeah.
So fun. So fun.
It is fun.
All right. We have Zambonied enough for today.
Yeah. Oh, it's never going to get old.
I already wrote it down. Are you kidding me?
I need to find, I think last year the team got, I don't even know that I mailed them to everybody. Last year the team got painted white turd pickle ornaments. This year I'm going to have to start looking for Zamboni ornaments.
Oh, that's so funny.
So anyway.
I'm going to make an uncoached Christmas tree.
Yeah. It's going to be unique. Very special.
Yeah. Well, we love you guys for being here. We love you even if you're not. And we are just so incredibly grateful for the presence that you bring to this community. If you're here in Materialize, those who are not, find us on Facebook. You can see the link below, fb.com/groups/Materialize. And we will see you all over in Materialize. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.